Hi guys, and welcome back to another episode of Scottish Wild Fishing. Again, we're still stuck in lockdown, but hopefully today we'll get some good news about going back out fishing in Scotland. But for today, I thought I'd add another video to the collection and talk about something that I started doing probably about a year ago now and I really enjoy, and that's making soft plastic baits. So today I thought I'd run through what I use. I'm not an expert by any means, and I'm not here to tell you all the right and wrong things to do, but what I will share is some of my experiences that I've had. So one of the first things when I first looked at getting into bait making I seen was how expensive it was and how much equipment you needed, and basically how out of control it could get, which it can if you're on that level. In the UK it's not as popular as it is in America, where there's a lot more plastics available, moulds available, but there is stuff in the UK and there's a couple of companies that I use in particular which I'll put in the description down below. So what you need to do to make a basic bait. So this is a very basic tutorial on what you need, nothing crazy. So here we go. Plastisol. Number one thing, the plastic. There's a lot of elements to plastic and plastisol, but one of the biggest things to remember is it has different densities in it, so it can separate. So before you use your plastic, you need to give it a good shake. Now, on the basis of plastic as well, you can also add hardener to it, or softener. Very self-explanatory what happens there for different baits. Different plastisols can come in different regulations as well, so you can buy hard, soft, medium, extra soft, or you can do it yourself with the hardener and the softener. There is different companies sell different plastisols. There's a lot more in America, like I say, that aren't available in the UK. One of the biggest things with plastisol is bubbles. When you pour your plastic into your cup, before you heat it up and after you heat it up, bubbles are your worst enemy. Now the answer to that is a vacuum chamber, but for somebody that's starting out and just want to try it, it's a bit more of an expense, so you can get away with it. So try and find the best plastisol you can that suits you. Be careful when you're stirring. The more you stir, the more bubbles you create. So I like to try and heat my plastic up slow, stir nice and consistently, and then let it set and try and keep as much bubbles out as I can. So that's it for the plastisol. Next up, colourant. Now, endless world with colourant. There's multiple colourants out there, not to be confused colourants with pigments and dyes and colour shifts and crazy, loads of stuff. So for today, we're using this luminous orange from the Lure Factory, who will be in the link down below. They're in the UK. Different colourants come in different variants as well, so some people, or some advice is to add it when the plastic's cold, some is to add it when the plastic's hot. I found using this, I like to add it when the plastic's hot, so that's what you'll see later on in the video. Next up, you need a mould. So today we're using 4 frogs. I use these for perch, so they're very small. Probably not the easiest to pour when you're first starting out, but it's nothing to worry about. You can get there. They're CNC cut, so there's a lot of fine detail in the bottom, which is hard to see because I'm using a GoPro today, but you definitely need a mould. They come in different variants as well. You can buy silicone rubber moulds and open pour, and then you get into your more enclosed injection mould stuff, so that's for a different video. Next up, you need a knife for stirring or a stirring stick and a Pyrex jug. Very important. Obviously goes in the microwave. So that's the very basics that you need to get started. We'll move on over to actually preparing the materials and pouring the moulds. But once again, before we get into this video, I'd just like to say, if you could like and subscribe, if you do like what we're doing, please hit that subscribe button, hit the little bell so you know when our next video comes out, and support the channel. We enjoy what we're doing, it's not a full-time business, we just enjoy sharing our stuff with us. So hope you enjoy the video, and as usual, any questions, stick them down below. Thank you. So to start off with, you need to get yourself some lure lubrication, a couple of drops into the moulds. So I like to do it, or one big one in that case, and then just work it into the moulds. This is just to ease the plastisol back out once you've done your pour. Don't need too much, probably got too much on there actually, but there's a lot of fine detail you probably won't see on the camera inside the moulds, and I'll try and show you at the end, but it's very important to have the lubrication on it. Now, moving on to the plastisol, because we're only doing a small batch today, I will do just half a cup. Now, apologies for the audio, but one of the most important things with plastisol is there's a lot of different chemicals in here, but the biggest one is the chemicals can separate, they're different densities, so it's always important to give it a good shake before you use it. This also leads me on to my next comment here, is one of the biggest issues in bait making with plastisol is air bubbles. So most people use a vacuum chamber. You can use it before and after you heat up your plastisol. that removes all air bubbles, but like I say, for today's basic tutorial to show you what you actually need, I'm not going to do that. Now, the plastic's ready to be brought up to temperature. We're going to use this fluorescent orange today. Now, there's difference with some colourants, not to be confused with dyes and pigments. Masses of variation out there, plenty of videos on YouTube, and you'll find a lot of stuff on the internet. Guys have different colours and whatnot they use for different baits in different countries for different species, but today I'm going to use a bright fluorescent orange that I've not got, just to show you a couple of samples here. Now, what you have to be careful is, if whatever dye or pigment you buy, some are better going in when the plastisol is cold, some are better going in when it's up to temperature. The stuff I'm using today I found it's better to add when it's up to temperature, so I'm going to stick this in the microwave now, and we want it to be around initially 340 degrees Fahrenheit, that's what I like to work with, and then I'll add my colourant in, and then I'll probably heat it back up. But I'll cut to that just now and I'll show you it. Alright guys, now I've got our plastisol heat up, and like I say, one of the biggest issues is it's full of bubbles. The more you stir it when you're not using heat stabiliser, the better it will come out, but you're adding more bubbles into the mix. So ideally at this moment in time, or after you've added your colourant, you want to put in a vacuum chamber. Now, moving on to the colourant, give it a good shake. What I like to do is, when I come up with different colours and ideas, I like to write down how many drops I've put in, but for this fluorescent orange I want it to be quite strong, so I'm going to go ahead, start off with 20 drops. And then we can give that a quick mix in. Like I say, always mindful of the bubbles. Okay, I'm going to give that another quick hit in the microwave, and then we'll get to pouring. Okay, so we've got our mix back out the microwave now. Now it's ready to pour. Like I said, these are very small lures, and they are quite hard to pour, so you'll need to apologise if I make a mess of this. Don't be too scared if you overpour or get some flashing. It can all be trimmed off once the bait's dry. And you just want to try and let the plastisol run in nice and even. Slightly trickier on these small baits. And that is it. One thing to remember, this is actually a hard mould, but when you're using plastic moulds or injection moulds, when the plastisol's drying, it does draw it into the mould, so it's important to keep it topped up nice and level. And like I say, I've got a wee bit of flashing on the sides there. It's nothing to worry about, it can be trimmed off at the end when the baits are dry. So this is a straight colour into an open pore mould. There is endless amounts of stuff that you can do with plastisol. You can buy multiple colourants, you can mix them together. We then go into adding different size of glitter flakes. We've got big flakes, small flakes, swirls. You can do some lamination between colours. Like I said at the start, this is a very basic tutorial just to show you how easy it is to do. I will link some of the companies in the UK down below where you can purchase even a starter kit to try it out for yourself. All you need is the Pyrex glass, the knife, plastisol, a mould, a microwave, some PPE, and you're good to go. It's really an exciting time. I love making baits, and you get sucked into the world of buying more and trying different things, but it's a really good addition to your fishing. So we'll let these dry and I'll come back to you when I'm ready to get them out of the mould. Okay guys, so it's been a couple of minutes and hopefully they're dry now. Like I say, the easiest way to get them out of the mould, we use the lubrication on the mould beforehand, so I just pull them at the front and they should pop right out. And there you go, finished product. Hard to see the detail on the GoPro, but there's some ridges cut into the back here. The thing to do now is, what I do is I get them straight into some cold water. I actually let them sit in the cold water for 24 hours and then I let them cure further for a further 24 hours on a bit of tissue paper. And the reason for this is whatever way this bait dries is the way it will set. So you don't want it kinked, you don't want it bent, or it won't swim properly. And if you do get any baits like that, a quick tip is you can dip them in some boiling water and then straighten them back out. But right from the start you want to get them straight into the cold water and allow them to cure in a straight manner. Now, just touching on, before I poured this, the plastisol that I used, it was a straight colour, so whatever's left in here when we're finished, that can be kept as a remelt. All I'll do is go back in the microwave, heat it back up, and it can be used to pour further moulds. So it's a good thing to keep your remelts, because obviously you'll normally always have more than you need. I keep mine, I've got some up on the shelf here from previous pours. They're always good to keep, try and keep them out of the humidity, try and keep them somewhere dry so they don't absorb too much moisture. But yeah, perfect. There's some of the flashing that we got out the mould. Some of it just pulls off, others you'll have to trim to make it perfect. But no, it's really, really good. Really enjoy it. Very therapeutic if that's what you're into. But like I say, just to touch on again, there is everything I've used today. The Pyrex jug, plastisol, colorant, one mould, a stirring knife and a microwave. And that's all you need to get yourself going in bait making. It is endless, you'll get really involved in it. These are open pour moulds. The next stage would be to move on to injection moulding, which if there's any interest in this video I can go on to as well. Alright guys, so once again that's the end of the video. We've got our 4 frogs here that we've prepared. Obviously they should go straight into water to cure as I mentioned, but it is as easy as that. It's a really good hobby to get into. It's something like you can do in your garage at home or in the house. Just be careful with your plastisol, you need to have a well ventilated area. If you're using different substances, also with the dyes. But it's a great hobby to get into. Yes, you will fall into the trap that I've done and you'll end up with loads of dyes and glitters and whatnot and get into injection moulding, but it is really good. A good sense of satisfaction catching your first fish on your own lure, and it is just really good. It takes up some of your time. I will do more videos if it's any interest. We can get into the injection moulding, also some airbrushing stuff that I'm getting into at the moment. But yeah, that's it from me. As again, if you could like and subscribe, every like, every comment, positive or negative, you know, let us know what we're doing wrong or what we're doing right. And if you like the channel, hit the little bell so you know when we're putting out our next video. So thanks again, hope lockdown's going good for you and you get back out fishing soon. Thank you.